In this video, you will be discovering the 5 reasons why men respond to distance in love. Hi, I'm Brody Boyd. I'm the husband of Antia Boyd, and I've been helping single men to attract the right woman for them for over 16 years. So I have a unique perspective into how the male brain ticks to help you with this very concept. And also make sure to stay to the very end of this video because we'll have some powerful free gifts for you as well. And if you can like, comment, and subscribe, you'll be able to make sure you get powerful videos like this coming up for you in the future as well. So let's begin with reason number 5 why men respond to distance in dating, love, romance is because it gives them space to process and think. So here's the thing. Men are like bears. They need time to hibernate. They need time to go in their cave and process how they're feeling, process what they're thinking about in their life. For the masculine men, the fundamental release that they're looking for in life is freedom. They want space. They want nothingness. They want just this bliss of being released. Just like at the end of an orgasm, or just like at the end of getting the football into the touchdown zone. Just like at the end of completing an acquisition, or finalizing their book that they just wrote. You know, whatever that finish line is for them, that's the ultimate masculine release for masculine men. It's this chase. It's this hunt. It's that getting to of this nothingness. And so if you interrupt that for a man, if you interrupt that for a masculine man, that process that he needs to be in this nothingness, it's going to cause stress, it's going to cause anxiety, and it's going to cause resentment at some level, because men need this space to hibernate, and they need this space to process and think. So I think this is a big mistake that often women will make in relationships, is that they will think when a man is pulling away, when a man is going to his cave, he's not interested in her. He's losing interest. He's falling out of love. You know, he's not becoming as he's losing his attachment to me, which is not necessarily true. It can be true in some cases, but it's not necessarily true. And I would argue that most of the time in a committed relationship, it's not true. That a man actually is only doing that because he needs his space to process. He needs that freedom. And if you're not giving it to him, sometimes he'll just have to claim it. And he'll have to say, look, I can't do this right now. I can't do it. I need some space. I need to go away. Or I need to go in my room. And so the way you avoid that to a man getting to that point where he just has to like totally cut you off is you give him that space proactively. And Antia, she does a really good job of this in our relationship. From the early stages we were dating, she was very aware of herself because she'd done so much work on this and read so many books and studied personality psychology that she knew to give me naturally my space when we were early on in the relationship. And she would even protect my space. And oftentimes she would say things like, do you need to like go on a little vacation or something to like recollect yourself? Or so she would even suggest that sometimes, which I think that's super powerful. That's when you take it to the next level, when you actually encourage a man to take space. You encourage a man to go off by himself to process what he's going through in his life, or to heal, to recover, which really is when the bear is going into hibernation, he's recovering, he's renewing, he's getting back his energy. So that's why it's so important to give a man his space to process and think. And when you do that for a man, he will really value that within the relationship. And of course, you know, devil's advocate here, you're going to say, well, if I give him a space, you know, and he's still not giving me what I need, then, you know, when do I actually need to speak up? If I'm not getting my needs met, I need that time. When do I speak up? Well, the first thing is you need to make sure you're actually getting your needs met in other sources, not just from him. So that's codependency, when all of your needs are met by your partner. So make sure you're still having girlfriends you can talk to. Make sure you have a spiritual practice or a religious practice that fills you up. Make sure that you are getting your emotional needs met as well, through family, through taking care of yourself, through journaling, through walks in nature, which you can do with him, but you could also do that sometimes by yourself, or also just taking care of your basic needs, you know, making sure you are eating healthy and being healthy and just feeling good about your body, about your life, you know, dressing well, taking care of yourself, because that's going to raise your self-esteem and confidence also. So that'll help with that aspect too, of being able to then proactively give him that space. Reason number 4 that men respond to distance is it shows you're a secure attachment style, that you're a secure person, that you have a secure heart. Now, when you need something from somebody else, when you're clinging, when you're trying to grasp something, trying to get something from somebody else, you actually don't love them. Because at that point, it's not love. You can't love them because it becomes a transaction. Let me do this and I hope to get this from you. Or let me give you this and I hope to get this from you. That's not love. That is, in some ways, that's a form of emotional prostitution. You're trying to grasp, you're trying to transact with them. I need this from you. I want this from you. Please give it to me. True love is unconditional. True love is being who you are, they being who they are, and love emerges out of that. It's not transactional situation. It's not a transaction in any sense of the form. True love. And that comes only when you can be secure in yourself, when you're able to detach from the outcome, and when you're able to detach from needing something from anybody. Only then can you truly love somebody. Only then can you really be there for them, and that they can be there for you, and you can actually receive that. So by you giving somebody distance, it shows that you've reached that point of security, that you're able to be okay with that distance also. It shows that you've reached that point of security, that you do not cling. You love, but you do not cling, which is true love. And that security can only come from healing that attachment style within yourself, by being able to let go of those attachments. As the Buddha talks about, attachment is the root of all suffering. I'll say it again. Attachment is the root of all suffering. Wow. Ponder that one for 1,000 years, really. You could ponder that for that long. Because that attachment is what's creating the suffering for you, and it will create suffering in your relationship. Of course you can love somebody. Of course you can be with somebody. But needing that in order to be happy, that's where we run into problems. That's when we run into suffering. And which is really what attachment is needing something in order to be happy, or to think that you will be happy once you have that thing. The happiness comes from within. The happiness is a state of being. It's really fulfillment. It's a state of being. So by doing that work on yourself, by doing the spiritual work of detaching from the outcome, being a secure attachment style, that shows that's when that energy comes from you, and that shows, and the man will feel that, and that's why it will be effective, and that's why it actually brings him to you. When you're authentically okay with giving him that distance, that will bring him back around, because that love is irresistible. That love is just going to draw men to you like bees to honey, like flame to the moth, like planets to the sun. It draws, so it's that gravity force. So that is the power also of being able to give that distance. Reason number 3 is it gives them space to miss you. It gives them space to miss you. How can someone miss you if you're around them all the time? There's no ability to miss. He can't even miss you if he wants to, because you're just there. Or you're in his text message inbox, or you're in his email inbox, or you're in his Facebook Messenger, or you're in his WhatsApp. Like, you're just there. So how can he possibly miss you? He can't. That's the answer. He can't. It's not going to happen. But when you give a man space, when you're able to give that space, that distance, he can then actually have the ability to miss you. You know, people don't fall in love when they're with you. They fall in love when they're away from you, thinking about you. That's the ability, that's the power that distance creates. He can now actually think about you. He can actually remember you. He can actually ponder. And it helps when you're with him, you create amazing memories, you create amazing emotions for him to experience, that he feels together by you doing this work and being a powerful, healed, queenly woman, goddess. Now he can actually say, oh man, I miss those emotions. I miss being around her. I miss those memories we had. I want to create more of that. That's the power of giving the space to let a man miss you. Reason number 2 of why it's effective is it can make him wonder if you're really that into him or not, which is actually a good thing. So people actually often wonder, when I help men with their dating, they wonder the same thing. They wonder, well, if I want somebody to like me, shouldn't I let them know constantly that I love them, that I like them? You'll see this often in shows like The Bachelorette, The Bachelor, other dating shows. People feel like they have this need to just immediately, once they feel a feeling, they have to tell the other person, oh, I like you so much, I love you so much, which can be powerful in the right moments to tell them how you're feeling. But it's also can be very powerful for them to wonder and to think about it and to question, do they really like me or not? Sometimes a little insecurity can be powerful that you generate within them, having them feel a little insecure, turning the tables a little bit, letting them start to question and overthink and wonder if they should, give you space or not, or if they're being too anxious or not. So by giving them that space, you give them the ability to actually think, man, I mean, does she really like me? Does she really that into me? Is she dating somebody else? Should I reach out to her? Am I going to lose her? That can be healthy for relationships because it actually allows them to feel how much they actually like you and to actually wonder where they stand. And which is good. You want them to wonder where they stand because you want them to put in that energy. You want them to actually fight for you, fight for the relationship, fight for the space, fight for that connection, and not just feel like it's just like always a given. It's always going to be there. That you're always going to be chasing them. You're always going to be anxious. You're always going to be texting them all the time. So give them a little space. And in the book The Art of Seduction by Robert Greene, he has a chapter called "Mix Pleasure with Pain." Mix pleasure with pain. Now that's a little extreme, but it's more like you're mixing that love with the space. You're mixing the connection with the space so that it's like becomes a dance. If you watch two people dancing, I used to dance ballroom dance a lot. That's how I met my first girlfriend, actually. But West Coast swing and in any ballroom dance, it's about this tension. You want this tension that's created when two people are coming together and coming apart, and coming together and coming apart. That's what allows you to do the twirls and the dips and the pulls and the things. And if you watch most dances, it has the same dynamic. So that's what you're doing here, is you're giving this push and pull energy, this tension that's created when you release them, and then you can come back together and release them and come back together. So that's the power of making them wonder if you're actually that into them and giving them that space. Finally, reason number 1, it allows them to be able to chase you. So it's a lot of what we've already been talking about, but how can somebody chase you if you're so busy chasing them? They can't chase you. A lot of women will say, why are men not chasing me? What can I do to get a man to chase me? How can I stop having to be the masculine one and have him be the masculine one? Well, part of it is you have to stop being the masculine. You have to stop hunting. You have to stop chasing, because that's what you're doing when you're texting a guy all the time, when you're reaching out to him all the time, or when you're asking him to hang out all the time. You're the hunter, actually. You're the one taking the masculine role, and you're trying to control the dance. You're trying to take the lead in the dance and say, hey, come here. Hey, come here. I want to hang out. Let's do this. Hey, give me some attention. Give me some love. Give me some affection. I want to hear something from you. That's actually taking the masculine role. And then if you're wondering why the man's not taking a masculine role, it's because you're taking that role. Only one person can take the role at any time. We have a masculine and feminine for a reason. That's the reason nature created a female and a male. It's because you can only have one person being the other in order to create life, right? You can't have life cannot be created if you're trying to take that role. So basically, giving that space to allow him to chase you is what will bring him around. Now, I love the metaphor as well of like a dog, right? A dog isn't going to chase a frisbee that's just lying on the ground, right? It's not exciting to a dog to chase a frisbee that's lying on the ground. No, the dog likes it when you throw that frisbee and it gets to chase after the frisbee and jump up in the air and grab it. That's what dogs like, we're doing man training here. Dogs like to chase the rabbits that are dodging in and out from the bushes, right? The dogs don't like to just chase the rabbit that's just sitting there and saying, here I am. Unless they're really hungry, right? Unless a dog is desperate, and probably don't want those kind of dogs. So dogs like to chase, right? And so they can't chase if you're not letting them chase you. If you're just there and just, here I am, here, take me, I'll give everything to you. We call that, in our book, we call that the doormat in our book, Magnetize Your Man. So it's about being in the middle ground where you're the queen, where you're not necessarily, we call it the bitch or the avoidant. You're not being the bitch or avoidant where you're just totally saying, no, I don't want anything. I'm giving a man too much space, or even like pushing him away. Nor you're being the doormat and saying, please come claim me, be with me. You're being the middle ground, that powerful middle ground, which is the queen, where you're giving him some space and you're being together. You're willing to be together. You're willing to give space. You're willing to stand next to each other and hold hands and love each other rather than falling into each other and clinging onto each other, which is codependency. This is a healthy interdependence, and this is what we're talking about creating here. That golden mean, the target that you're aiming for, of being with a strong man that you can just hold hands with, live life together, enjoy life together, grow together, and you can be this strong woman, you can be this feminine woman, powerful feminine goddess that he gets to be that masculine for, be the hero for, and protect and provide for, and be there for her, in not just financially, but in all ways. that's what you're looking for. And that's where you create this healthy dynamic that can lead to a long-lasting, loving, committed relationship where the man feels he can really value you and he can really respect you, and you can respect him also because he's taking that role and he feels respected by you for being in that role. So those are the 5 reasons. So what's next? Well, next you're going to actually need to learn how to actually get men to chase you, how to actually get men to take that role and to take that masculine. We have so many other techniques for that principles that help a man to feel called into his hero, into his masculine. So in order to do that, we have some powerful free gifts. First off, if you like and subscribe and comment to this video, that'll help the YouTube algorithm. They'll make sure we'll be able to give you more powerful videos like this in the future. And as well, we have a powerful gift, which is our free course on how to get a man to chase you. It's our free playlist course you can get by clicking the link over here, clicking the button over here. And also we created our powerful Magnetize Your Man quiz, which will help you identify the specific points for you to help attract the right man for you and get personalized strategies, which you can get on our website by going to magnetizeyourman.com or clicking the link in the description below. So much love, hope this was helpful, and look forward to talking again on powerful future videos coming very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.